we have people coming into the fund that never did business with us. Like we were doing a meeting with Ashley last week about their training and their social media programs. So we got this tremendous energy. So we're really excited about what could happen here. You know,
most of what I do every day is just buy companies and or buy a share of a company. If I find great management, I like guys and gals that are doing good things. Buy it or buy a share of it, and then help them take it into a global thing. It's like you know, these young guys with this cleaning franchise in Australia, they got an amazing sales system. Just such a great sales system. I tweaked it just a little bit with them, and it, you know, tripled everything up for them. But when you come into the way the sales of commercial cleaning is in the US, and you just look at it and you go, these guys are going to kill it. They're going to kill it. And commercial cleaning is just such a massive business.
Yeah, that won't be disrupted. I love that business.
It's just such a great business.
So that business, you're always cleaning up, huh?
That's the one. Well, someone is. Someone is.
Not me.
So what are we meeting on? What's the idea here?
Well, I think that, you know, where this first started is you got two great young guys up in Canada that are doing phenomenal things, and Corey and Kyle. I don't know if you know, but Kyle's dad is one of my top guys up in Canada.
Okay.
And so he's coached them through this whole thing, and so the two of them are just like doing great things, and they said, well, why don't you guys meet? And it's like, okay, well, let's have a conversation. So you know, I think that the idea is there's plenty of synergies in our target audiences, you know, from the business side of things, and there's something to be done. What it is, that's sort of phase two. But the best thing is, and this is what I think the team just said, you guys have to just sit down with each other, at least have a conversation. Get started from there. You know, ultimately, you know, we all speak, so we've all got stages we can throw each other on, or all got audiences we can put each other in front of, and at least spread each other's wings that way. So these days I'll only do about 38 gigs a year. I have 4 kids, so you know, my life is more about putting other people out there and doing that. So like I just invested in a young guy in Australia, Travis Bell, the bucket list guy. So I, you know, build a licensing structure around him and put him out there on the road. Now I'm trying to put him on.
Maybe build a licensing structure around me, man. Somebody needs to help me.
Well, we could definitely do that, because you know the ultimate interesting thing about licensing and all this stuff, because you've got the brand out there, but when you look at licensing, so who's the guy that's doing your shit in Nigeria? If you don't have a guy in Nigeria doing your stuff, then you're missing out on. And people say, but Nigeria, is there any money in Nigeria?
I'm totally
Dude,
with
there's
you.
a ton of money in Nigeria.
There's no like you're talking to a guy that's totally open to like.
Me too.
We took our last little book, the Millionaire booklet, and I went on social lines and said, who can help me translate the book? We had to translate it into 38 languages in 30 days. I was saying last night at this panel that I was on, I'm like, hey, my biggest problem this year is translating. The biggest block I have is like, I'm just an American dude.
Yeah. And it's really interesting.
I need to become El Gran Cabron.
But I look at it like Turkey. Our business in Turkey is just crushing it right now. And people go, Turkey? But hang on, what about all the problem, all this? Yeah, but when you're in Turkey, you don't notice all of that problem you see on CNN.
Of course not.
The guys in Turkey are just doing business.
Absolutely.
And so there's still car sales guys in Turkey that need car sales training, and there's still, you know, there's still all of this stuff, and that's why licensing works so well, because then you've got a local guy or local gal, and
But in Turkey, you're
all gals,
going to collect from that guy one time.
No.
So what are you doing to support him?
So you build a licensing structure that means you have royalty forever and ever, amen. So there's no one-off payments. There's a one-off payment, there's a training fee, there's a royalty fee, there's an ongoing structure. And so when you're doing, you gotta remember, when I got into franchising of white collar, there were no white collar franchises. They didn't exist. Actually, they did. There was a H&R Block and expense reduction analysts. So those guys were out there. But white collar, how you license intellectual property, is something that we've worked on now 20-something years. So we know the structures and what IT systems to put behind it so that they can't leave. They have to, if they want to do the program, they have to stay.
If they want to build the business.
So we got this young guy in Australia, Engage and Grow.
They're building a business, right?
They're building their own business using our system.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So we got this young guy in Australia, Rich Maloney, has this amazing system for employee engagement. Comes from a sporting background, how to get engaged employees. Started by doing it in sports teams, and now we run it all across the world in businesses. But so when we sat with Rich, I sat down and said, okay, you got a great program, and now it took us a year and a bit, rebuilt it into a program that was able to be delivered by anybody. So anyone can deliver the program, backed by technology with the videos and all of the training. So anyone can deliver that program now. So we then go to licensing that. Now he's licensed into 58 countries in the first 18 months of doing it. And he's literally got hundreds of people on the ground delivering the program, paying 20% back to us of every dollar or pound or ruble they make. So when you look at translation...
So what do? You set up an account in that country, or they send you money here?
No, multiple different.
Yeah, okay.
So you'll generally be in about 10 to 15 jurisdictions that you have corporate entities,
yeah.
And the rest can go from there.
Where do you pay taxes to? It's different every country?
Different. I mean, ultimately, you're a US citizen, it'll all raise up to here.
Yeah.
But then again, whole gamut.
You're getting a new piece of money you wouldn't have gotten anyway, so you're paying GST and PST in Canada.
But how do you find the people?
Depends on whether you bring it straight direct or whether you pay it there.
Yeah, but if that money comes out of Canada,
correct.
So
there's a withholding and there's a. But because the tax treaties between it, doesn't matter where you pay the tax, because you're a U.S. citizen. It all rolls up here anyway. You just got to make sure you're based in jurisdictions where they have good tax treaties.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So if you got a good tax treaty, you get a full deduction for every dollar tax paid there, not just what you do here.
Yeah.
But the taxes is probably, that's the most minute concern of all of it.
Got it.
But how do you find the people all around the world that are going to be grant specific or this other guy specific? Like, how do you find those people?
Well, that's where you find a genius at licensing and franchising who knows how to do that stuff. Yeah, so that's your next expansion phase. You need a team of 10 to 20 around you at that level that are operating at that level. So, it's, for me, I'll be really blunt, I don't work. I don't. I would work 15 hours a week. I just don't. I have kids, I have a wife. I'm Australian. We like to enjoy our life. But I've got a lot of people that are very damn good at what they do. And it's taken me years to build many of them. And do that stuff. And so, ultimately, I'm different to the American way. The American way, like when I first moved to America, I really, it blew my mind. I'm sitting at a bar in Bay Area, California, with this guy who was the CFO of Pets.com when that was all blowing up, and I sat there and he's just bitching about work and life, and I said, dude, so you work 20 hours a day to provide for a family you don't like and don't know anymore. Explain that shit to me. And he just looks at me and goes, well, that's just what you do. And it took me a while to realize that was the concept versus the Australian concept of, no, you work 10 to 20 years in your life to make plenty of money so that you never have to work again for the rest of your life. And it might be our convict mentality kicking in So I love teasing the British that, 200 years ago they sent all the fun, interesting people to Australia and kept all the boring ones.
That's a fact.
Well, I think what you got to do, you got to step back and look at it, that any business has management systems depending upon the industry. So you have great management systems for the business that you have today. If you were to set up a licensing or franchising or whatever structure, then you need to develop that side of the business as well.
That's right.
And you just need to bring in people that are caliber of that.
That's right.
In
Well,
that area.
you're going to get them anyway by this sheer focus of the opportunity. You're going to find opportunities. So, I mean, if we could get in 120 countries, help you get in 120 countries, I'm all for that.
That'd be a fun
We already have the training. We have some brand recognition in most of the world.
Is all of the video stuff capable of subtitle yet?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's all technology subtitled?
I can go. Yeah, we're not going to go.
Because translation subtitle is one of the key things on an international scale. If you can
done. We're already Spanish.
Great.
We've already translated there, but we've already translated into Russian. I got an agreement with the guy, but they're not performing at the level, so I could pull that.
Yeah, so that's where you go back to your licensing structure, and all of those agreements have to have performance criteria and all of that.
Until you find the right guy to push into that market.
Well, the goal is to always find the right guy first time, and that's where with 20-something years experience, we kind of know what to look for. You know, it's finding the right guy or gal to lead the charge in a marketplace is always the challenge. You know, we made the mistakes early on too. We picked the wrong people.
Well, you took the money.
Yeah. You know, you didn't know, well, even more than that, you didn't know what was the right or wrong guy. You know, in the beginning, you don't know if they.
But you knew the money was real.
You knew the money was real. So, a lot of times these days, we'll take a guy with less money, but
see,
the right
because
guy.
the thing that we're really missing in my business is the opportunity piece. I got guys that will spike on revenue because, and my guys are like, look what he's doing. I said, dude, look at the product he's offering. My product is a training product. His product is an opportunity. Opportunities will always make more money. The platform's proven. It supports worldwide. We're already worldwide with the platform.
Yeah, so they need the platform. They can't operate the business without the platform, and that's always the key to a great licensing structure. Is that
well, they won't have anything to sell.
Correct.
Other than a book. I mean, the difference between me and a lot of training companies, I'm not selling books. So and I'm not selling events, but we have those to sell. So those are there, okay? I have the events, I have the books, I have the audio downloads, but what we have is that big monster program.
Like every now and again, when people ask me for background material, I mean, I always make sure I send them through one interview with CNBC in South Africa, where this guy was just a complete asshole interviewer, and it's just like, I want you to notice that there are other assholes out there that want to have a shot at me too. So make sure you realize that, because you don't want. If a guy doesn't have at least 5 one-star reviews on his book, then he ain't trying hard enough. You haven't sold it hard enough to people that really.
Sometimes I do the 1-star because I think it's the highest rating.
Number one.
One's the highest, right? So.
Well, it goes back to that thing, like Hillary Clinton's book, it's got a 3-star rating. Why? Because she gets all the 5-star ratings and all the 1-star ratings.
Exactly.
There's no actual 3-star ratings, but her rating is 3 stars.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, you know, you see that all the time. It's like the 80-20 rule doubles, you know. It's So.
They just cancel each other out.
Yeah, basically, and so that's.
How much real estate do you own?
We're at about 280 pieces. So.
And what does that look like? What do the pieces look like? It looks like some
medical suites or multifamily, 6, 12, 8 packs.
Here in
that sort
town
of
or
stuff. A
around?
lot in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Because I bought in Australia when I was young.
He gets 52 weeks, but we get 50.
Yeah. I was just buying as a young guy because that's, you make the money, you do it, you know.
Well, good.
When I was young,
and your dad liked it. You know, that's the thing I find so familiar with so many real estate guys. Their parents loved it.
Yep.
I remember my dad would drive. You know.
From one to the next,
No, they would drive and look at houses. They would read houses.
My dad flushes the toilets. Like when he goes and looks at buildings, he'll go flush the toilets. And it's like, okay, Dad, you flush the toilets. I'll be down here doing the numbers while you're up there flushing the toilets and
That's what he
checking that
checked on.
stuff.
Well, you know why he does that, right? They flush the toilets to put the water back in the bowl so you don't get the smell, and they probably, cycles the toilet bowl.
Oh yeah, no, he's doing it when we're buying. So when we're buying things,
checking.
he's just checking. He says it's a simple thing for him. If the toilets are all working, then they've probably got other stuff working too. It's just one of it's his quirky little thing.
We should add.
But it's just what's your quirky little thing about it is the thing, and that's his quirky little thing.
My quirky thing is I call the place.
Yeah.
Do they even answer the phone?
Yeah. See if I can rent a place.
That's my deal. That's always my deal.
Process,
We got to come up with a name for that. I'm gonna do a show just on that. Or do you ever get to Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
not
should
as
come up-
often as I used to, but
When you get to Miami next time, I'll do an interview with you.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to you about. I'd love to do an interview with you on real estate. I'd like to do one on the license thing. It could be a nice organic opening to an audience. Hey, why you need to build a license?
yeah.
Okay. One thing that we found out, like with the real estate, is I'm educating people how to buy it, and at the end of the show, they're like, I don't want to do all this shit.
Yeah. It's exactly what happens. It's exactly what happens.
And the big question is always this: how do you find a 200-unit deal?
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever contemplated building a real estate coaching business?
Yes.
Okay, because I got guys down in New Zealand that I taught to do that many years ago.
Yeah.
And they're crushing it.
Yeah.
That group of people that bought the $1 billion in real estate in New Zealand, so all the students down there,
Yeah.
one strategy.
Yeah.
3-bedroom apartment from a 2-bedroom apartment. So get rid of the dining room, make it a 3-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, yeah.
That single strategy in Auckland, New Zealand,
Yeah.
$1 billion worth of real estate.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
let's-
before we do
let's
that,
bounce some
we need to
emails on-
we need to feed the beast a little bit. We need to like, hey, tell me about like, I'll interview you for. Hey, tell me about license. I want you to tell me the story, dude. I don't want to work. I got 4 kids. I'm not a worker. I'm not like you, Grant. I'm not pounding out 80 and 100 hours. I don't have low self-esteem. I actually enjoy my life. You, Grant, on the other hand, have to prove yourself every second of every day. Okay?
Probably not quite that statement, but yeah.
Whatever, dude. It'd be funny, right? Because our views of how we approach things are so much polarity, so different that it's going to be good for the audience.
Yeah.
They're going to be, oh wow, there's room for both of us here.
Oh yeah.
See what I'm saying?
And the real interesting thing about wealth is there's so many paths to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And success, so many paths to it that it doesn't matter what path you take.
Yeah, yeah,
It just matters that. And in many cases, it's that you are true to your own path is what gets you to success.
Yeah.
If I tried to be Grant and I tried to work 80 hours a week, I would be less successful than I am.
Yeah.
Because it's not me. It doesn't
Yeah,
work
I
that
know,
way.
I'm with you. I totally- and
I don't
that's
do
the
that.
point,
If you
right?
tried to do my way, it wouldn't work for you.
Dude, if I tried to work 80 hours a week, I wouldn't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
I remember when I had a part-time job. So we should do that. That's a layup. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a layup, and it would open up. It would open up the license thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe I should get a license. And then we'll start getting reaches from all over the world.
See, I go back to my ultimate definition of a business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without me. So if I have to work, it ain't a business; it's a job.
Okay.
And so that's what I operate from.
Yeah.
And so one of our biggest programs with us at Action Coach is helping guys
And
build
people like that.
businesses
They'll like
that
that
are
definition of work.
saleable businesses.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because and I'm just about to head to the UK. I do once a year. I do 8 gigs in the UK. And because I love going there, and there's some good soccer matches and rugby on, and so I go and do that, and then I speak for a few hours, and then I go and watch another game and speak for a few hours. But it's all about how do you build a business that's finished? How do you finish a business?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, how do you actually build something it now works without you? And the moment it works without you, it's now a saleable item.
Yeah.
If you still got to be there, it ain't a saleable item.
Yeah.
You won't sell it for much. And so it's a real interesting teaching process with that one, because you got to get people. Most people go into business thinking I got to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know, I'm opening my restaurant. I got to be there all the time.
Yeah, I don't think most people go into business thinking that. I'm going to go to work for myself, not the man. I'm going to put in the same hours or a little less on my terms, and I'm going to make the same money, and they don't.
But then they realize that ain't true.
And then they realize, goddamn, I'm the master.
Yeah, it's the old. You
The
thought you worked
warden
for an idiot
and a
before
damn
thing.
prisoner.
How many countries? 120. Same as us.
Want them all. Want to help you get where you want.
Anything bigger than McDonald's was our goal.
Yeah.
It's like McDonald's in 120, but then they got kicked out of Guatemala? And
I wonder why.
Dude, how many countries are there?
I think health reasons.
100. Well, that changes every other month.
155 or something?
It changes every
Yeah.
month. It's around 160, but it
Yeah,
changes
yeah.
because that Eastern Europe, you don't know whether there's a country or not this week. It's like
Yeah.
they just changed. And
Dude, I help Rocket Man if I could. It don't matter, man. I'd like to be in all the countries. Fuck it.
there's some of them that just politically unstable enough to not
But
want to be
what
there.
we're teaching people is customer service, answering the phone, sales, closing, negotiating, follow-up programs. I mean, all these programs are like $1,000 a month. All the ones I just listed. So we have the breadth. I have the library. You know, they can take a piece of it. They can take all of it. And
Yeah, I've seen that whole my company down in Texas, in Houston, uses the program. So all of our salespeople are down there, 5 modules a morning before you get your leads.
yeah.
So simple as. That's the rules. But so I know that program. I want to look at the structure of all
And
that.
then we've dropped in Damon John's content. So this thing's getting built out beyond me now. So there's probably another 6 or 7 guys
Correct.
that are coming in. We're bringing in a personality coach. We brought in DISC assessments, which the DISC assessment part of the program internationally would be really, really
Who'd
interesting.
you partner with on that?
Tony Alessandro.
Oh yeah, we work with Tony.
But I can
very
do
well.
somebody else. I mean,
But that's fine. Tony's a good
Yeah.
buddy of mine. And
So those
he's
are-
actually speaking for us in San Diego next year. So
yeah, those are what, 80 or 90 bucks a pop?
Yeah.
So we go into a company and say, look, the program's gonna cost you $3 grand a month. If you how many of those do you do? we do 20 a month, 20. So I'm saving. You're not going to do those anymore, you know. So anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a great structure. At one point, I'm going to hit you up then for some IP for our foundation. We're just building a whole foundation around kids.
Yeah.
I started working with the World Bank last year because what I want to see is kids coming out of school wanting to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I want employers, not
Yeah.
employees.